What's up, everybody? This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603, and I'd love to tell you it's going to be a fun video, but unfortunately, it's a bunch of shitty news, and let's jump right into it. I woke up this morning to missed calls and text messages from the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. We'll get back to that. Let's talk about Harry. So I just got off the phone with Harry, and he's in as good of spirits as you could expect, considering he's been held against his will with no due process for what will be a total of like 19 days. So here's some of the information I'll give you a quick recap of what happened. My brother Harry, not my brother, but my brother in arms, he was accused of wanting to harm himself by somebody close to him who has done this before, or done something similar before, has made false accusations against him before. And it resulted in a bunch of cops showing up to his house and demanding he disarm. And of course, like any good patriot, any good 3%er, he didn't have a reason to disarm, so he refused. And it became a bit of a standoff situation. He contacted somebody who is pretty high up in New Hampshire law enforcement and asked him to get involved, and he did. And Harry surrendered his weapon and was arrested and brought to Exeter Hospital, where he was held for 3 days, I believe, and then transferred to the New Hampshire Psych Hospital. And all while he was at Exeter Hospital, they denied him access to a phone. Every time I called, they said he was unavailable, and they assured me that he was taking lots and lots of phone calls, which is why he was unavailable, which I found out to be completely false. They threatened him multiple times, saying that if he left, that they would start his time over at Exeter Hospital before he was transferred to the psych hospital. Once he was transferred, he got a hearing. I think it was the next day, and the judge said that they had probable cause to hold him for another 10 days. Now, not that this situation, like, you think it can't possibly get any worse, but it does get worse, because they stick him in a room with a homeless dude who stinks. Other people are coming in, crazy people are coming in and being discharged in 2 days. There's nothing in the library for him to read. The people that are in there, most of them are, well, not most of them, there are some people just like Harry who are victims of the system, and then there are some people that are genuinely crazy. And the unfortunate part about that is they're dirty and they're disgusting. They piss all over the toilet seats. The poor guy has to spend 20 minutes cleaning the bathroom before he can even use it, which is really sad. The residents answer the phone there, and it's next to impossible sometimes to get him on the phone. And I just found out today that the weekends, they're holding him for 10 days, but the weekends don't count, which I find rather fucking bizarre. Because that's like at least 2, possibly 3 weekends that he's been held against his will with no due process. I mean, you could call the hearing a due process, but it was a kangaroo court, and Harry doesn't have any history of mental illness and was supposed to be let go, but they denied him. And they told him that he may never be allowed to own firearms again because of this. If they put you on a 10-day hold, you can never legally own firearms after that. So it's like a way for them to take away your First Amendment right, your Second Amendment right, without having to actually go through the steps and prove that you're dangerous. And I asked Harry, I said, how much therapy are you getting while you're in there? And he said, none. I don't talk to anybody. He's like, I read to occupy my mind. He said, but they're not doing therapy in here. He's like, I have to do it when I get out, which I find rather bizarre. So if they're not doing therapy with him, why the fuck is he stuck in there? What is the point in that? Is this like a timeout? Did he get a fucking adult detention? How can this be legal? To just put a man in a fucking mental hospital for 2 weeks? Barely feed him. Harry's on insulin. He's diabetic. All they want to feed him is carbs. He asks repeatedly that, he get salads and things that are okay for his diet because he's insulin dependent. And all they give him is pancakes and bread shit. Constant carbs. And he said he gets half the food that the other people get. Other people are allowed to leave and go to the gym and go outside. And Harry's been nothing but a model inmate, if you will, because I don't know what else to call him because he's imprisoned. Yes, sir, no, sir. And he gets absolutely no privileges. There's no reason for this, except for he's being abused by the system for being connected with the wrong people, for being a political activist. Who knows? But Harry's not a criminal, and he doesn't have any reason to be, and he's not dangerous. He's not suicidal. This is just a way for him to be abused by the system. And the worst part about this whole thing is he was sent here on nothing but an accusation from somebody with a vendetta against him. And he's going to spend I think it's going to be like 17 days. Maybe 19 days in hospital facilities that he has to pay for. $2,000 a day when this is done. He has to pay for that. He was locked away against his own fucking will because somebody said some shit about him. And guess what? Now he has to pay back that money. $2,000 a day. That's like 40 grand. This is madness. Who's next? Is this what happens when you rub the government the wrong way? It's funny because I see the Crypto 6 get locked up. I see Harry get locked up. There's people turning up in the river all the time, dead. And I've had people say to me, you better watch out. You're going to be the next one floating in the river. And that scares the shit out of me because I'm starting to believe it. Like, these people just do whatever they want because they're part of the establishment. Like, is that what it's going to come down to? If I don't stop, they're going to imprison me for nothing or just suicide me? P.S. I will never, ever, 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 ever kill myself. So, that's that. Oh, the FAA. Let's get back to that son of a biatch. Not the guy. The guy who called me was actually pretty nice. And maybe I'll cut this and make it 2 videos. I don't know. Stay tuned if you want to watch. Maybe I'll just cut it and save it for another video also. All right, so let's crack this motherfucking monster and get into this. I wake up this morning to missed phone calls from a main phone number and a text message. Jesus, sorry, I'm in a bouncy chair and I'm trying to get comfortable. All right. 2 missed calls and text messages from a main number, 207 number. And the text message says it's a guy from the FAA who wants to speak to me. FAA? And immediately I'm like, why do I feel like this has to do with my drone? Well, shit. Wouldn't you know it? I called the guy back, and he was great. It's funny how many people in these kinds of positions, including town cops, local cops, people within the Department of Homeland Security. I haven't really spoken to anybody from the FBI yet, but everybody I speak to from these alphabet organizations indirectly express support and or sympathy for what I do. And of course they're very discreet about how they tell me, but I find it fascinating. So this nice gentleman that I spoke with from the FAA today said, apparently there's a regulation, not a law, a regulation because, so let me back up just a little bit. For any of you who don't have a drone, you need to know that when you buy one, you have to register the, serial numbers and all that. And then every time you want to fly it, you have to go onto a computer. Now, you can't do it from your phone. You have to go onto a computer and you have to look at the area where you want to fly it and find out if it's there's different levels of restricted zones. Some of them you can ask permission to fly in. Some of them are totally restricted, like over prisons and stuff like that. So, he tells me he's calling me about my drone. And I said, really? That's odd because, and he expressed that he was instructed to call me, even though I didn't do anything wrong. And what he said was, this is coming from a much higher authority than me. So either probably Sununu himself or the Attorney General or somebody, one of his people, over my flight of my drone in Newfields. I said, but I didn't break any rules because I checked on my computer and it was a completely free to fly zone. I'm good, bro. And he says, well, you're correct, but there's a regulation that says if you don't have a commercial drone license, you can't fly your drone beyond your line of sight. I had no idea. It's not a crime, but they're going to send me a letter that I have to read and sign saying that I didn't know, now I do know, won't do it again kind of thing. Then he also went on to tell me about getting my commercial drone license and how easy it is and what the benefits of getting a commercial drone license are. So, Savage Drones, Savage 6 Truth 30 drones. I think it's a thing. All right, but all seriousness though, for real. So that's not a big deal. I was really happy with that. And one thing I want to reiterate that I forgot to say in my last video. I try to say it a lot. I'm not anti-cop. I'm not anti-law enforcement at all. I respect cops. I respect law enforcement. I don't like bullies. If you're a cop and you're a bully, I don't fucking like you. If you're a politician and you're a bully, I don't fucking like you. That's it. If you're a cop and you're a good guy, I respect you and I like you. And there are many cops that I've had interactions with who will tell you the same things. Even cops who were responsible for me getting tased will tell you that I'm always polite and respectful, even when I'm getting arrested, because I'm not anti-cop. This is about the people above the police. This is about the governor. This is about the attorney general. This is about the corruption in New Hampshire politics. I have no beef with the cops. Like I said, I don't like bullies, and I don't run into many bully cops. It's pretty rare. Usually, they're decent. I look at cops like they're doing a job. They have a paycheck to take home, just like me as a plumber. And a lot of my libertarian friends don't see it that way, but we live in a society where you have to make money. And of course, they can choose to do other things. But when you dedicate your life to something as a young person and you don't realize fully what you're getting into, it's hard to make a huge change. So I get people are caught between getting a paycheck and standing by their morals. So I get it. I'm not mad at cops. I hope you, every time I see one and they're nice to me, I hope you guys are safe out there. It's a tough environment to be a police officer in. So, that being said, and Harry feels the same way. Harry has friends in law enforcement, and so do I. Just want to make that clear. And one last thing. Guess who's never, ever going to be violent towards anybody? This guy. Never. Okay? Want to make that abundantly clear for all you people out there watching me. Okay? I'm a nice guy, and I'm going to keep it that way. It's easy for me to make this man look like an asshole. Well, he has a lot of help in it, so I'll hurt him politically. That's all. That's all I want. This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603. Make sure you hit that share button. All Harry's friends, you got to make sure either copy the link and share it, copy it from Facebook, share it straight from Facebook. I'll get you all the links, whatever, but you got to share this stuff. Help me get the message out for what's going on, Harry, because it's fucking wrong. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Stay free.